right, my dear boys? Thermodynamics. What is this thermodynamics? It is the branch of, it is the branch of physical chemistry. It is the branch of physical chemistry. Okay, in our chemistry, both organic, inorganic, physical chemistry, like different parts of chemistry are there. Among all those, this comes under physical chemistry. Okay, so what this concept, what that is, which one this topic explains. So what is this thermodynamics? So no doubt it is a branch of science. It is the branch of science. It is the branch of science which deals with interconversion of various forms of energy. So interconversion of various forms of energy. That means how one form of energy is converted to another form. How potential energy converted into chemical kinetic energy, or vibration energy converts into other forms of energy. So internal energy into different forms and different forms of energy are there. So electrical energy into mechanical energy into electrical energy. So like this, how one form of energy converted into another form of energy. And also explains the conversion of the interconversion of heat into work and also work into heat and vice versa. So that means thermodynamics is the branch of physical chemistry. How this explains how one form of energy is converted into another form of energy. Next, how heat is converted into work, or work is converted into heat. So all these are here we are going to explain in this thermodynamics chapter. Okay. So this thermodynamics clearly explains. It is a concept of. It is a bulk property. It is the bulk properties concept. So it is about bulk properties. That means collective properties, not a particular single particle. So collection of particles. So it is a bulk concept. So entire thermodynamics explains the bulk concept. Bulk means collective properties, not for a single particle. It is a collective property, bulk property. That means it is a macroscopic. Whatever it may be the property, I explained in thermodynamics all about macroscopic. It is not for microscopic level. Macroscopic concept. So that means heavy concept. So not a microscopic level concept. So it is a macroscopic property. Okay. It explains feasibility of the process. Is the process something? Some processes are there. Macroscopic means see my dear boys. So there is an atom. So only atom there is a substance. There is only atom. So this atom property is a microscopic level. Collection of all these atoms. That gives matter. This is a macroscopic. All these collections and collective property. It is a collective property, not a particular single particle property. Okay. So this thermodynamics explains. So what is the importance of this thermodynamics? First point, this explains feasibility of the process. That means, for example, there is a pen. This moves from here to there. That means, is this process feasible or not possible? That means, is this possible or not possible? So something is possible. When it is possible, why it is possible? All these are clearly explained. Something work is done on this pen. So that is why it is moving from one place to another place. Why it is taking. So what happened there? All those concepts are explained by this thermodynamic study. It explains the feasibility of the process, possibility of the process. Feasibility of the process or possibility of the process. Next one. Okay. Next one. It explains. It explains. It predicts. It predicts the yield of products. How much product is formed? How much quantity of product is formed during the process? For example, chemical reaction is there. During the chemical reaction, reactants converts into products. Reactants converts into products. So, how much product is formed? How much quantity of product? So, yielding of products are detailedly explained by this thermodynamics. All these we will learn in this chapter. All this we will learn. No doubt. Please write. I will explain each and everything. Next, it explains, it deduces various laws. So, various laws, that is phase rule, example, phase rule, phase related rules any. So it is not in our syllabus, no doubt. Phase rule, law of mass action, like some rules, some laws we will discuss. Law of mass action means, so that means reactants react with each other to give drugs. Okay, so the speed of the reaction, that like that, those are explained. Okay, yes, it is not explained in stoichiometry. So law of mass action we will discuss any. It is in chemical equilibrium chapter. We will discuss after completion of this chapter. Law of mass action. Next, it also explains the attainment of the equilibrium. It also explains the attainment of the equilibrium. Equilibrium means there is a reversible reaction, my dear boys. So let us take A plus B gives C plus D. C plus D, there is a reaction. So it is a reaction in the left to right, that is why it is a forward reaction. There is C plus D once again converted into A plus B. It is a backward reaction. So this is a reversible reaction. Reactants converts into products, products converts into reactants. Okay, so that means it is a reversible reaction. In this reversible reaction, at one point, at one time, forward reaction speed is equal to backward reaction speed. Speed of the forward reaction is equal to speed of, that is, rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. That particular state is called as equilibrium state. The state at which rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. The state at which rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction, which is called as equilibrium state. At which point the equilibrium is reached. The point at which equilibrium is reached, that is called as attainment. Where the equilibrium point, equilibrium process is applied. So where the reversible reaction, when that reversible reaction reaches to equilibrium, that is nothing but attainment of equilibrium. That equilibrium attainment is clearly explained by this thermodynamic side. This thermodynamics. These are some applicative parts, some important points towards your thermodynamic side. But automatically, every concept there should be a limitations on it. So in this also some limitations are there. So what are those limitations? Okay. So this class. So what are the limitations? We will discuss limitations also. Yes. Entire notes I will send, my dear boys. Every point I will send. So listen carefully. So if possible, try to note running notes. Okay, what are the limitations of this concept? Limitations of this concept. So already explained this thermodynamic concept is applicable only for macroscopic end, that is bulk concept. So that means the collective property end. It is for first point. It is for collective property end. That is bulk property end. But not microscopic property. But not microscopic. Bulk property means macroscopic property. The concept is only applicable for macroscopic. That means heavy part. Collective property is applicable. So minute particles, for minute particles, electrons, protons, neutrons, atoms, right concept, this thermodynamics is not applicable. So for pen, it is applicable. For pen, it is applicable. But a small fraction in the pen, small atoms are there. For that atoms explanation, this concept is not applicable. It is not for microscopic level bodies. It is only for macroscopic level bodies. So there is the first drawback, first limitation in this thermodynamic side. Next one, it does not explain. It does not explain rate of the reaction. It does not explain rate of the reaction. Rate means how much speed of that reaction is there. So what is the speed of that reaction going to be complete? How much time it will take? That means speed of the reaction, nothing but rate of the reaction, not explained. But at which point equilibrium, rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. So point at which equilibrium is established is clearly explained. But how long it will take? How long it will take for reaching that point? The time sense is not clearly explained by this theory. This thermodynamic sense. So when it is applied, okay, but how long, how much time is required? That means the speed of the reaction is not completed, not explained. There is nothing but rate of the reaction. Rate of the reaction. Next point. It fails to explain. It fails to explain the systems. It fails to explain the systems which are not in equilibrium. It fails to explain the systems which are not in equilibrium. That means whenever a thermodynamic concept is applicable, that must be in equilibrium. We will discuss, please wait. Equilibrium means forward reaction is there, backward reaction is there. So those to be equal. So at which point, at equilibrium point only, we can apply thermodynamic properties. We can apply thermodynamic properties. So that means whenever a thermodynamic property is applied in a process, that should be in equilibrium condition. Otherwise, it is not possible. That should be in equilibrium condition. Okay. So these are some limitations towards this thermodynamics. But so there are certain limitations, but it is very, very helpful to convert how one form of energy into another form, how heat is converted into work, or work is converted into heat. So these are very, very important and interesting points towards our studies. So these are very, very neat for our daily life also. So that's why this is the most important topic in your physical chemistry part. Okay. So before entering this into this chapter, we must learn some basic concepts. So to entering, that is the literature of the concepts. Okay. So all these we require. So what is the different syllabus? What is the syllabus in our first year in this thermodynamics are available? So thermo means thermal conditioning, heat conditions. So heat changes it explains. Thermodynamics means heat changes explanation. One form of heat is converted into another form of heat. That is one form of energy is converted into another form of energy. So how it is possible? That is clearly explained by this idea. Okay. So it is very, very important. Now, what is the syllabus? What is the syllabus in this thermodynamics is present in our intermediate. Now it is only in first year syllabus, not in first. So there is no topic in second year, but it is most important for second year studies and for other topics. For other topics, thermodynamics is very, very important. Now, in our syllabus, what is the syllabus behind this chapter? First one, some basic terms we must learn. Some basic terms we must learn. There is nothing but definition. Basic terms are nothing but definition. So to entering into the thermodynamics, so that is the first topic in this thermodynamics. Second one, reversible and irreversible processes. Reversible and irreversible processes. So please don't ask any questions. This is the syllabus. At that time, I will explain these ways. Reversible and irreversible processes. Next, third point, third concept, that is work, heat, and internal energy concept. Work, heat, internal energy. Okay. So it is very, very important. So this is another topic in our syllabus. Next one. Next, calculation of work in different processes for different processes. So what are those processes? We will explain any. So next one, different laws of thermodynamics. There is first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. Next, calculation of heat is simple Q and E. W, work. Next, delta U, change in internal energy. Delta H, change in enthalpy. So under different conditions, those conditions are, one is in isothermal process, second one is in isobaric process, third one, that is adiabatic isochoric process, next one, adiabatic process, next one, free expansion. So how work? Q means heat, W work, internal energy change, enthalpy change. So under these conditions, so how much is the Q in isothermal energy, or there is isobaric or isochoric? So in different forms of energy saving. So different processes, different process saving. Okay. So very, very important, my dear boys. So once again, I'm telling you. So every chapter, every concept, note I will send. Please don't ask once again. Don't repeat that point. Listen carefully. That's enough. Listen carefully. Okay. It is all comes under thermodynamics. Thermodynamics. All these topics. Q means heat. Q means heat. Okay. All these topics also comes in your physics also. If you know, if you learn in chemistry, it is very easy to explain in chemistry, physics also. Same topics, same words already also in your physics. So listen carefully. So next one. So it comes under thermodynamics. So there is in chemistry part, there is some chemistry that is called as thermochemistry. In that thermochemistry, so there is a thermochemistry part. It is the chemistry related. In thermochemistry, the syllabus in this thermochemistry is first one, enthalpy. Enthalpy, how is this? So we will explain later. Enthalpy, symbolized with H. enthalpy. Next, different types of enthalpies. Different types of enthalpies. That is enthalpy of formation, enthalpy of combustion, enthalpy of neutralization. So like this, number of different types of enthalpies are there. All those enthalpies we will discuss. Next, second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics. So entropy calculations. Entropy calculations. Next one, free energy. And spontaneity. Free energy and spontaneity. Next, Carnot cycle. Next one, third law of thermodynamics. This is the syllabus, my dear boys. Thermodynamics. So first law, second law, third law, these are the thermodynamics laws. Along with this, zeroth law is also there. So that is also we will discuss here. Okay. So all these laws are very helpful to calculate another form. So these are all in your syllabus. These are all in your syllabus. Okay. So it is very, very important, my dear boys. Please stop that video. Okay. Now, in our syllabus, it is first we must learn about the basic terms to enter into the chapter. In that basic terms, we must learn different terms. Please see here. That is basic definition. Basic definition. Okay, my dear boys. In thermodynamics, we frequently use system and surroundings. Frequently use system and surroundings. According to our thermodynamics, the entire universe is break down into two parts. According to thermodynamics, our entire universe is split into two parts. One is system and the other is surrounding. System and surroundings. So our entire universe is break down into two parts. So according to our thermodynamics, system plus surroundings is equal to universe. System plus surroundings is equal to universe. Okay. So that means universe nothing but our system and surroundings. What is this system? What is this surroundings? System means any part of the universe which is under study. Any part of the universe, whatever it may be. We are discussing about that part. For example, it is the pen. It is the pen. Okay. So now we are discussing about this pen. Total information I am explaining about this pen. That means this pen is nothing but system, except this entire universe is taken as surrounding pen. Any part of the universe which is under study is called as a system. Except the system, all other parts except this one, all other parts is called as surroundings. So system plus surroundings is equal to universe. Yes, maybe. Okay. So very, very important means what is system? It is the part of the universe It is the part of the universe which is under observation. Which is under observation is called as system. What is surroundings? Except system, rest of the universe is surroundings. Except system, rest of the universe is surroundings. It is very, very important, my dear boys. So let us say I'm explaining about this duster. About this duster we are discussing. Okay? So this duster is a system. This duster is system. How is this? What we explained? So everything we explaining about this duster. Now it is a system. This system, except this one, whatever it may be others in the universe, you, me, whatever it may be, everything is a surrounding cell. Everything is. That is the part of the universe which is under study, which is under our observation, which is under our observation, which is called as a system. And the others are surrounding. And the others are surrounding. Now these systems are broadly divided into different types. These systems are broadly divided. So see here, boys. So this is the entire universe. It is the entire universe. In this entire universe, now we are discussing about this part. Now we are discussing about this part. So this is under study. This part is under study. Now this part is called as a system. And the other one is the surroundings. And the other one is the surrounding cell. Except this entire universe is taken as surrounding cell. That means, so there must be an interface. There must be an interface between our system and surroundings. Between our system and surroundings. That interface which separates system from surroundings is called as a boundary. So once again, I am requesting my dear boys, please stop all your videos, listen carefully. It is not that much easy. If you learn, if you listen carefully, it is too much easier. Otherwise, it is difficult. Otherwise, it is difficult. Okay. Any part in the universe which is under study is called as a system. Except this system, entire other universe is called as a surrounding. There must be some separation. There must be some separation between this system and surroundings. So see here, this is the separation, my dear boys. This is separate our system from surroundings. This is called as a boundary. This is called as a boundary. Okay, so which separates that interface, the interface which separates system and surroundings from surroundings. Is nothing but boundary. Hari Shankar, why you are raising hands every time? Stop that. Hari Shankar, please stop that raising of your hands. The interface which separates system from surroundings is called as a boundary. Is called a boundary. So that means which separates the system from surroundings. Okay. So no doubt there is a boundary of the system. It may be, this boundary may be a real boundary or an imaginary boundary. The boundary may be real or imaginary. That may be imaginary possible or really, here really existed. Or sometimes we may assume it. That may be imaginary. Okay, so real boundary may be flexible. Real boundary may be flexible or rigid. It may be flexible or rigid. So that means there is a boundary. So it may be fixed at one point. That means it is rigid. That boundary may be adjustable. Adjustable boundaries are there. That is flexible boundaries. So, okay. So it is very, very important. Means rigid means fixed at one point. Fixed at one point. That is rigid. But it is adjustable boundary. That is called as flexible boundary. That means, so the boundary may be real or imaginary. If it is real, that may be fixable or imaginary. That is rigid boundary. That may be flexible or imaginary. So this is about your system and surroundings. So what is system? Anything which is under study. Anything which is under study in the universe is called as system. Except the system, remaining all are called as surroundings. Between system and surroundings, there is an interface which is separate. That separates system from surroundings. That interface is called as boundary. That boundary may be real or imaginary. Real boundary may be exist, imaginary. Let us assume, so here is a imaginary part. So that means here something boundary we imaginary. We must imagine it. That may be real or imaginary. If it is real, that may be flexible, it is adjustable or not possible. That is resident. So like this, different boundaries we expected. So, okay. So these are very, very important points. Please mind these topics here. Very, very important. Next, what about the system? What is the various forms of the system? What is the various types of the system? So systems broadly divide into three types. Our system. See here. Now our topic is types of system. Types of system. So the system may be three types. There are three types of systems. One is open system. Second one is closed system. Third one is isolated system. My system may be open system, closed system, or isolated system. Very, very important. So let us take different cases. So this is a cup. So it is a cup. Fire boy. Okay. So in this cup, hot tea is I am taking in. It is a hot tea in that cup. Okay. So next, another cup. Another cup. Here also hot tea is there, but it is closed at the top. It is closed. It is closed. A lid is placed on that mouth of the cup. Next, it is also hot tea is there. Here also hot tea is there. Hot tea or hot coffee, whatever you want. Next, there is another one. There is our flask. It is our thermo flask. So there is hot tea there. Once again, it is hot tea. but it is around that thermoflask is conditioned. Thermoflask is there. These are the three systems. Okay, see here what happened here. So if you take hot tea in this open cup, automatically the vapors are rising. Vapors are rising. Okay. So what is this vapor? That means something matter is going entered into the surroundings. It is the surroundings, my dear boys. It is our system. So it is our system. It is our surroundings. So now vapors are moving away. That means this vapor, this tea is in the form of vapor entered into the surroundings. That means matter, nothing but our theta. Matter is exchanged between system and surroundings. Between system and surroundings, the matter is exchanged takes place. Some exchange of matter takes place. That means this hot tea is going to be vaporized. That vapors enter into the surroundings. That means so the volume of this tea slightly decreased because of this evaporation, because it is hot tea. Okay. Next, so slowly the temperature of this hot tea in the cup slowly decreases. That means some heat is exchanged between this system and surroundings. That means it is the boundary which is allowed to heat exchanges. Some heat is exchanged. Heat is exchanged. Because of that, the temperature of this tea inside the cup is as time increases, decreases. That means heat is exchanged. Heat is exchanged and matter is exchanged between system and surroundings. Between system and surroundings, both heat and matter are exchanged. That is why, so if it happens, that means in open system, both matter and heat, nothing but energy. Both matter and energy. Energy generally we are taking it. So heat is nothing but in the one form of energy. Both matter and energy can exchange between system and surroundings. Both matter and energy can exchange between system and surroundings. The type of system is called as open system. So the type of system is called as open system. It is very, very important. What is open system? It is the system which is under study. So in which between system and surroundings, matter can exchange between system and surroundings, and also energy. Nothing but heat form of energy. Heat is one form of energy. Energy also exchanges between system and surroundings. So that is why the type of system is called as open system. Now, closed system. What about this closed system? In closed system, only energy can exchange between system and surroundings. Only energy can exchange between system and surroundings, but not matter. But not matter, only heat. See here, it is the hot tea in a closed cup bed, closed cup. That means the vapors are not evaporated. Vapors are not evaporated. That means the matter, the volume of this tea, not increase, not decrease, not change any. Not change any. That means, so there is a exchange of matter is not possible. Exchange of matter is not possible. But so because it is conducting wall, conducting boundary. That means heat can exchange hot body to cold body between surroundings and the system. Heat is transported. Heat is transferred from system to surroundings. There is generally heat is transferred from hot body to cold body. Hot body to cold body. That means here also the temperature of this cup of tea gradually decreases because some heat is transferred, because it is the conducting wall. It is the conducting wall only. Conducting wall, nothing but conducting boundary. Conducting boundary. It is the real boundary. So that is the conducting boundary. Okay. So this conducting boundary allows heat exchanges between system and surroundings, but not matter. Matter is not exchanged. That type of system is called as closed system. That type of system is called as closed system. Next, isolated system. What is meant by isolated? What is open system? Both matter and energy can exchange. Both matter and energy can exchange. Here only energy is exchanged, but not matter. Now it is no matter, no energy can exchange between system and surroundings. So because it is thermos flask, our flask, daily use flask to store hot tea or hot coffee like that. So that means when tea or coffee are placed in thermoflask, almost the temperature retained. That means no heat is transferred between system and surroundings. No heat is transferred between system and surroundings. At the same time, there is no open condition. That means matter can also not change between system and surroundings. That means here no matter and no heat exchange between system and surroundings. No matter and no heat. That means both matter and energy not exchanged between system and surroundings. Between system and surroundings. That type of systems are called as isolated systems. That type of systems are called as isolated systems. So why not? Because no heat is transferred between this one and this one. Heat is retained. Heat is retained. Okay? This is the way our systems are broadly divided into different. So during problems, during an open vessel is considered, a closed vessel is considered, an isolated vessel is considered. So what is that open vessel, closed vessel, isolated vessel? These are the conditions. Okay? So isolated means no matter, no heat is exchanged between system and surroundings. Open vessel means both matter and energy can exchange between system and surroundings. Closed vessel means only heat is transferred, heat can exchange, that is the energy can exchange, but not matter and So neither energy nor matter, that is isolated. Both energy and matter, that is open vessel. Only energy but not matter, that is closed system. These are the different variety of systems. This is different variety of systems. So our universe is a perfectly isolated system. Our universe is a perfectly isolated system. Universe means system plus surrounding. If entire universe is taken as system, no one is surrounding side. No one is surrounding side. That means no heat and no matter can exchange between except that is universe. That means our universe is taken as a perfectly isolated system. Is perfectly no heat is exchanged between system and surroundings, and no matter is can exchange between system and surroundings. So this is different types of systems. You must know. You please remember the conditions. Remember the conditions. So my dear boys, at least 15 minutes I will give for asking doubts. Up to now, please don't ask any doubts. Please note down that point. At least 15 minutes I will give the info. I will give some time to you to talk with me. Some time to you to talk with me. Please don't disturb me. So it is the beginning. That's very important to me to introduce the concept, to inject the concept to you. It is very, very important to me. So please don't. Next, states of the system. States of the system. That means A system must be described. A system must be described in order to make useful calculations. In order to make useful calculations by specifying quantitative properties. By specifying quantitative property. So that means we need to describe the system. That means, so for example, there is a matter, okay? So where it is, to explain where it is, some points are required. That is called as state variables. Those are called as state variables. Okay, so to describe the system, there is something, state variables are required. What are those state variables? State variables means that explains the state of the system. That explains the state of the system. So that means, so what are those state variables? Temperature, pressure, volume, mass, that is in the form of number of moles. These are the requirements. That means at this temperature, at this volume, at this temperature, at this volume, at this pressure, certain mass of the gas is taken. That is a system. That is a system. That means to explain the placement, where it is, there is a need of some variables. Those variables, okay, are considered as state variables to explain, to describe the state of this system. So state variables nothing much. So to describe the state of the system. The variables are called as state variables. So, sir, how to describe? To describe, that is the state of the system. So there is certain state. To explain the state where the system is there is a need of some variables. There is a need of some variables. What are those variables frequently used? Temperature, pressure, volume, and mass of the gas. So there is the amount of gas or amount of the substance. So that is nothing but state variables. That is nothing but state variables. That means, so to explain the state of the system, there must be 4 variables required. These 4 variables are nothing but temperature, pressure, volume, amount. Amount is nothing but number of moles. Amount is nothing but number of moles. These are the 4 variables to explain the position of the system, where that system is there. That is state of the system. State, to explain the state of the system, these are the variables required. So states of the system means where it is. That is explained with the help of these variables. That is, these are called as state variables. State variables. Okay. So now these are very, very important. State variables, nothing but temperature, pressure, volume, number of moles, nothing but amount of the substance. Amount of the substance. Please don't ask irrelevant questions. Once again, please, everything I will explain. So don't ask previously. N means number of moles, my dear boy. Siddharth. Number of moles we know, weight by molecular weight. That means as more moles, more is the mass of the substance, more is the amount of the substance. What is the importance of this system is weight. It is the definition to require for explaining the thermodynamics angle. So wait for that. We are discussing here only. We are discussing only definitions angle. So these definitions are, these terms are used in thermodynamics explanation. Okay. So now thermodynamic processes. This is another one. So what type of processes are there? Thermodynamic processes. So that is, if a system is taken from one state to another, one state to another state by applying by a particular path. By a particular path. Come on, the path is called a process. That means in which way? At constant temperature, at constant pressure. That means there is, see here, there is a system. There is a system. And open system, closed system, whatever it may be. There is a system. So to explain the state of the system, state variables are applied. Now here, pressure of the system, let it be P1. Volume of the system, let it be V1. Temperature of the system, let it be N1. Temperature T1. Certain quantity of the system, let it be N1. And let it be N1. That is the mass of the system. So at P1, V1, T1, N1 mass of substance is taken here. Now it is converted into another state. That means it is another state of the system. Another system of the system. So same mass of the gas, N1 is taken, it is converted to transform into that part. Transformed again. So there, pressure actually initially P1, here also pressure P1. Volume is V1, but temperature is changed from T1 to T2 only. Here temperature T1, here temperature T2 only. That means pressure constant, volume constant, but the temperature is it. That means this state is changed to this state by changing the temperature only. By changing the temperature only, or by changing the pressure only, or by changing the temperature and volume only. So V2, that is, it is V1, it is V2. Here only pressure is constant. Only pressure is constant. Remaining two are changed, variable change. That means by changing any one of these conditions or more than one variable, one state of the system is changed to another state of the system. That is the way, that is called as a process. In which way it is applicable? Here P1, pressure is P1, here also P1. Pressure is constant. Pressure is constant. That particular path is called as constant pressure, means isobaric. See here. Once again I am explaining. There is a system having certain mass M, it is at P1, V1, T1 conditions. So what is this P1, V1, T1? P1 is the pressure of this one, pressure of this gas, V1 volume of the gas, and T1 is the temperature of the gas in this particular state. In this particular state, these are the variables. Okay, now it is the system. At this stage to another stage, that means this is interchangeable, transformed. So transform. Now this system is changed to another system. Let it be. I'm changing the shape of the particle. It is converted into another system. It is changes to another system. Here also mass of the gas is M1. Mass is not changed. So pressure is changed. Pressure is the P1. Pressure is P1. But volume is changed to V2 and the temperature is the T2. Now whatever the state of the system is changed just by changing the volume and temperature. So here volume and temperatures are V1, T1. Here volume and temperatures are V2, T2. The volume and temperature are changed, but pressure is P1. Here also pressure is P1. That means pressure is constant, but the temperature and volume are not constant. So there one state of the system is changed to another state of the system. Now what is that path in this? Here P is constant. Here P is constant. That means P value not changed, P is constant. That particular path is called as isobaric process. Baric means pressure. Baric means pressure. Iso means the same pressure. This system is changed to this system at same pressure conditions, but pressure, temperature, and volume are changed. That is called as isobaric. So that means, so P may be constant, V may be constant, or T may be constant. P may be constant, V may be constant, T may be constant. Different types are possible. Different types are possible. If P is constant, the process is called as isobaric process. The process is called as isobaric process. If V is constant, the process is called as isochoric process. Isochoric process. If T is constant, that is called as isothermal process. Isobaric process, isochoric process, and isothermal process. So, okay. So, it is very important, my dear boys. It is very important. So, pressure only constant, isobaric. Volume only constant, that is isochoric. T1 is constant, isothermal. But Q is equal to constant. Q is nothing but heat end. So heat inside the system is equal to heat inside the system, and both pressure, volume, temperature, all these are changed. But Q is constant. If Q is a constant, that particular process is called as adiabatic process. That particular process is called as adiabatic process. So this is very important, boys. It is very important. So P constant means change in phase, delta P. Delta P means P2 minus P1. So P2 is P1, P1 is P1, P2 minus P1 is equal to 0. So for isobaric process, delta P is equal to 0. For isochoric process, V2 minus V1 is equal to 0, delta V is equal to 0. For isothermal process, T1 is equal to T2, therefore delta T is equal to 0. Delta T is equal to 0 in case of isothermal energy. Because the change in temperature is 0 there. Delta. So whenever the term delta is used, which is nothing but change in that process, change in. So delta P means change in pressure. Delta T means change in temperature. Delta V means change in volume. The change means V final minus V initial. Final value minus initial. That is called as change value. That is called as change value. So final volume and initial volume are changed same. That is why it is equal to 0 in case of volume case. In case of volume case. So if the pressure is initial and final pressure are same, the difference value is 0. That is in case of constant pressure cut. That is isobaric case. If temperature initial and final are same, automatically T1 is equal to T2. Therefore T2 minus T1 is equal to constant. That is called as isothermal case. If Q is equal to 0, that is called as adiabatic process. So these are very important, my dear boys. These are very important towards your thermodynamic studies. Isothermal, isobaric, isochoric, adiabatic. These are the 4 processes. There are the 4 processes. These processes are called as thermodynamic processes. These processes are called as thermodynamic processes. See here. Frequently used terms anyway. All these are frequently used terms. See here. What are those different processes? That is, first one is isothermal. Second one is isobaric. Third one is isochoric. Fourth one is adiabatic. Here T is equal to constant. That implies delta T is equal to 0. Whenever isothermal condition is applied, delta T is equal to 0. It is automatically to catch that point. So the term delta isothermal, the isothermal indicates delta T is equal to 0. Okay. So next, isobaric means P constant. That is nothing but delta P is equal to 0. You should remember the condition. Isobaric means change in pressure is 0. Next, isochoric, V is constant. That is nothing but delta V is equal to 0. Adiabatic, Q is equal to constant. That means Q, change in heat energy, which is equal to 200 H. So these are the some cases, some processes frequently used in your thermodynamics. Frequently used in your thermodynamics. It is very, very important. Okay. Next one. These are some definitions. Next definition, that is thermodynamic function. Thermodynamic functions. Another definition. Edna Hunt, what is your doubt? Please down your hand. Edna Hunt, please down your hand. Once again, I am repeating it. Q is equal to 0, my dear boy. Delta Q not used, Q is equal to 0. Please down your hand. Okay. Thermodynamic function. So that means in our thermodynamics, so n constant is not available. Okay. In our thermodynamics, two functions are there. One is state function and the other one is path function. State function and path function. State function and path function, there is two thermodynamic functions frequently used. Okay. So state function and path function. What is this state function and path function? Okay. So that means in our thermodynamics, there are some functions, some processes. So that is a property, that is a process, that is a function. So that means there is a system which is at state 1 is changed to another one which is state 2. A system which is at state 1 is changed from that to state 2 1. Okay. So that means this conversion, okay. So if this conversion depends on maybe the path in which the change takes place, the path in which the change takes place depends on maybe, my dear boys, maybe the path in which the change takes place or only depends on initial and final state of the initial and final states of the process. That is the process in which only how this state 1 to state 2 is changed. That means in which direction, either like this or like this or like this. So if any property, if any function, any property or any function which depends on so path in which the change occurs. So that type of properties which depends on path in which the change occurs are called as path functions. Or if a property which depends only on initial and final state, but not depends on path of the change. So doesn't depend. Some functions depends on path, some functions not depends on path. So those functions depends on path in which the change occurs are called as path functions, which doesn't depend on that path, but depends on initial and final states of the substance. initial and final states of the change, the system end. So only depends on initial and final state, that is called as state function. So depends only on initial and final state is called as state function. So which depends on path in which on taking place are called as path functions. So just I am explaining with examples, please wait. So very important, my dear boys. In our thermodynamics, number of functions we explained in enthalpy, that is H, internal energy U. So like this, work, heat, all these are different functions. They are different concepts. So some of these functions, some of these properties depend the path in which one stage is changed to another stage. So depends on path. But some properties not depends on path, but depends on initial and final stage. Initial and final stage. So only depends on initial and final state, that is called as state function. If it depends on path in which the change occurs, is called as path function. See, once again, I will explain the concept with an example. Let us say I want to go, see here, now I am at point A. Now I am staying at point A. Listen carefully, it is difficult, but number of times asked consistently. I am at A. Now I am going to point B. Now I am going to point B. Okay. So what is the ways? What are the different ways to reach point B? Now, so this is the direct way to reach point B by walking. Listen carefully, my dear boys. By walking, I am starting from A and reaching B. Something work is done. Something work is done. Let it be W1. Some work is done by me in the form of walking. So from A to B. So to reach that point B from A, okay, some work is done. Now I am moving from A to C. First of all, something work is done. Let it be W2, and also reach it to some point D. Something work W3 is applied. Some work is done to convert to transfer from C to D, then D to B, I came in W4. Now, so it is the direction, it is the direction, it is the direction. Now it is the direction. It is directly I am reaching from A to B. Directly I am reaching A to B, that is W1. Is W1 value is equal to W2 plus W3 plus W4. Are these two equal or not equal? Tell me, my dear boys. That means in both cases, directly, no doubt, starting point and ending point are same. Correct, my dear boys. So Ram, you are wrong. Starting and ending points are same. Starting and ending points are same. But the path I chosen is different. The path I chosen different. That is, direct way may be possible or indirect way may be possible. So direct work is not equal to indirect way of work. That means is work depends on path or only initial and final point. Is this work is depending on initial and final state or path in which the changes occur, both path or stages, initial and final stages. Path, that is why work is nothing but a path function. Work is nothing but a path function. Is this clarified, my boy? Which one is path function? So that is the property, that is the function in your thermodynamics. It is one of the property which depends on path in which the change occurs. Path, not on the only on the initial and final stage. Not on initial and final stage. It is depending on path in which the change occurs. That means both these values are, if both these values are equal, that is only initial and final state depending on it. If these values are not equal, that is if W1 is equal to W2 plus W3 plus W4, so automatically it is depending on only state changing, but not path, but not on path. If this is not equal, W4, if this is not equal, that is depending on path, but not state, but not on state. Now his work depends on path or initial and final state. So only depending on path and only. If I am moving like this, so some less work is done. If I am moving like this, more work is done. That means here the work is not equal to in the second way of path. Second path. First path work is not equal to second path work. So it is a direct step, it is indirect step. Indirect way of approaching of the DF into A to B. So direct step work is not equal to the sum of the indirect steps work. That is why. So work is nothing, not a state function. It is depending on path in which it is taken. That is why it is called as path function. But there is a term enthalpy. Enthalpy. Enthalpy means heat content of the system at constant pressure. Heat content of the system at constant. So that means there is A, it has something internal energy is there. There is B, some internal energy is there. So let us say not enthalpy, I am taking internal energy as one of the another function. It is another function I am taking. See here. So finally we discussed it. Work is not a state function, it depends on path function. Work is not a state function, it is a path function. Now once again same method, same concept. Now there is air. It is one material. It has some energy internally available. That energy is called as internal energy of the substance. That is we call as EA. That is we call as EA. Okay, it is internal energy of air. Next, there is another that A is changed to B. That means one state is changed to another state. Okay, there is B and D, another one. So there something internal energy is there. That energy is called as internal energy of B. No two substances have same energy, my dear boys, just like you and me. Your energy is yours, my energy is mine. No two persons' energy is internal energy. That is the energy inside of the material. It's called as internal energy. No two persons' internal energies are equivalent. Like that. Here also, EA is the internal energy of A, EB is the internal energy of B. Now change in internal energy, that is delta E is equal to EB minus EA and EB minus EA. This change in internal energy is a state function. The change value is a state function. That means initially A, final B. So that means how is A is changed to B or not? That's enough. How this A is changed to B? In which direction this A changed to B? There are number of ways to convert that A into B. But initially A, finally B. That means we take only internal energy of A and internal energy of B, final state, initial and final state, but not path in which the change occurs. Because delta E is nothing but final value minus initial value, but not the change. That means the total internal change in internal energy is nothing but a state function. It doesn't depend on path in which it is taken. That means in our chemistry, in our thermodynamics, some properties depends on state. Only depends on state, initial and final states of the substances, but some properties depends on path in which that change occurs. So which depends on path in which change occurs are called as path functions, which doesn't depending on path, only depends on initial and final states are considered as state functions. That means In thermodynamics, two types of functions are there, both state function and path function. In our chemistry, in our thermodynamics, there is only work and heat. Work and heat, these two are path functions. These two are only path functions. Remaining all are state functions, my dear boys. Please try to mind it. Work and heat are path functions, others are state functions. Similarly, heat also a path function. So it is very, very important. It is not possible every point explaining. So try to identify, my dear boys. I understand. So just like work, heat also a state function. Sorry, a path function. So others are state functions. And in our thermodynamics, work and heat are path functions. Others are state functions. Others are state functions. It is very, very important. So see here. Some examples to state functions. Which are the following is state function? Which are the following is the path function? Like that, number of functions are there. So see here, some state functions, pressure, state functions. Pressure, volume, temperature, internal energy. I explained this one. Internal energy, enthalpy, entropy. We will discuss later. Entropy. All these we discuss later. We don't worry. Internal energy indicated with the letter U. Enthalpy is with H. Entropy is with S. Entropy symbol is S. Free energy. That is Z. Free energy T. So all these are state functions. Those two, work and heat are path functions. Work and heat are path functions. Okay. So these are very, very, very important. Next one. So if a system is said to be state function, it's a differential. That means, see my dear boys, see one point towards a state function condition. If a function to be a state function, if a function to be a state function, then it should be, exact differentiation. It should be exact differentiation. So exact differentials. It should be exact differentials. Exact differential. Let us take volume. It is a condition. If it is a state function, exact differentials are exist. Exact differential. How, sir? How exact differentials? I will explain with an example. See, my dear boys. Let V be the volume with the state function. V be the state function. Therefore, d by dt of dV by dt is equal to d by dt of dV by dP. These two must be equal. That means first differentiation with respect to t and then with respect to p is equal to differentiation first with respect to p and then tn. Interchange. Their differentiations must be equal. That means exact differentials are exist. So then only the volume is considered state function. See here, we know PV is equal to nRT. We know PV is equal to nRT. From this, V is equal to nRT by Pn. V is equal to nRT by P. Now differentiate this equation first of all with dTn. I am explaining first this one. dV by dt. dV by dt. That is equal to d by dt of nRT by P, which is equal to, with respect to T means remaining or constant, nR by P. The value is equal to nR by P, dV by dt. Now I am trying differentiate that one with respect to P. Second differentiation, with respect to P, dV by dt. Tell me which is the answer. Minus nR by P square is the answer. Minus nR by P square. Once again, I am trying. It's a reverse case. Now it is reverse case. V is equal to nRT by Ps. dV by, first of all, we are taking Pn. dV by dP is equal to, so nRT by P square, minus P square. Minus nRT by P square. Now once again trying. So d by dt of dV by dP, which is equal to minus nR by P square. This is second condition. See what it was? Here minus nR by P square, here also minus nR by P square. That means this value is equal to RHS are equal automatically, NHS are equal. Now this is correct. If this is correct, that should be state function. Now our volume is a state function. Any function whose it has the exact differentials is considered as, any function which has exact differentials is considered as a state function. For path function, it is not possible. For path function, it is not possible. Exact differentials are not exist. So those functions which are state variables, which are state functions, they have exact differentials. They have exact differentials. It is very, very, very important, my dear boys. So just differentiation, my dear boys, already in your physics or in your mathematics, so these differentials are completed. Okay. So see here, let V be the state function. If it is if V be the state function, automatically this condition holds good. If it is holds good, our assumption is correct. If it is not holds good, our assumption is wrong. Okay. So I'm taking volume cases for ideal gas. So for ideal gas, we know PV is equal to nRT. It is for an ideal gas. For an ideal gas. So from this, we consider V and V is equal to nRT by T. First of all, differentiate that V with respect to T. This is the value. And then differentiate with respect to P. This is the final value. Reverse that. Reverse that. That means if it is exact, the reverse concept also equivalent. Now, reverse it. Here, first of all, with respect to T. Here, first of all, with respect to P. In second case, it is with respect to. Here, first with respect to T. Here, first with respect to P. Here, second with respect to P. Here, second case with respect to TH. Reverse cases are applied. So, in both cases, the values are same. That means RHS are equal means LHS are equal. So, that's why our assumption is correct. That is why our assumption is correct. Therefore, V should be the state function. Not only V, pressure, temperature, like this, all these are state functions. All these are state functions. Okay. So, this is the distinguished point between state function and a path function. Just my dear boys, just I will after 5 minutes, after 2 points, we will discuss some doubts. You don't worry. Next, boys, these are very, 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 very important. Next, thermodynamic properties. Very, very important. Thermodynamic properties. These are nothing but measurable or macroscopic properties. Measurable or macroscopic properties. Measurable properties of a thermodynamic system. Okay. So there exist two types of properties. One is extensive property. And the other is intensive property. What is extensive property? What is intensive property? The property, very, very important point. The property which depends on, it is important, which depends on size and mass of the system. Size and mass of the system is called as, this property, I am writing here, this property depends on size and mass of the system. That is extensive property. So intensive property, this property not depends on size and quantity of matter, mass of the system. These are very, very important points. So those properties which depends on size and mass of the system, and those properties which are not depends on called as intensive, which depends on extensive properties. So see here. Now I want to find out the mass of this quantity. So is this mass, let us take, is this mass more or less when compared to this one? It is first one, it is second one. Tell me by the way, whose mass is more? First one or second one? Whose mass is more? Second one, no doubt. That means mass depends on quantity of matter. Am I correct? Here more quantity is there, more is the mass. Here less quantity is there, less is the mass. That means mass is the property which depends on quantity of matter. Okay? Those properties which depend on quantity of matter, size and mass, are called as extensive property. It's called as extensive property. So that means moles, quantity, more mass, more moles, less mass, less number of moles. So therefore, mass is the best example. Mass is the best example for this property. Now, see my dear boys, it is our pen. It is our marker pen. Okay. Now, I want to find out the temperature of this pen. I want to find out the temperature of this pen. Listen carefully, it is important. Now, I want to find out the temperature of this pen. See here. So now, here I find out the temperature. Let it be 40 degrees a day. Now, I find out the temperature of this cap. This one also has 40 degrees Celsius. This one also has 40 degrees. This one also 40 degrees Celsius. That means, is the temperature depends on quantity of matter? Is the temperature depends on quantity of matter? No. That means there are certain properties which are not depending on quantity of matter, but some are depends on quantity of matter. Those depends on, just like your mass, are called as depends on quantity of matter, are called as extensive property, which are not depends on quantity of matter, are called as intensive property. Our temperature is an example to intensive property, so our mass is an example to extensive property. Do you have any clarification? Is this sufficient or not? Melting point, boiling point, any temperature situation are intensive properties. Okay, so it is very, very clear. Those substances which depends on quantity of matter, mass, size and quantity of matter, are called as extensive properties. Which doesn't depend on quantity of matter, are example to intensive property. Here the example is temperature. Here the example is temperature. Okay. So now some examples. Most of the cases in examples, in exams, which are the following is intensive property, which are the following is extensive property. Try to by heart these points. It is not possible to explain each and everything. It is very, very important. So now I am writing some properties here. So two are extensive and intensive properties. So see here. So one is volume, energy, heat capacity, enthalpy H, entropy S, free energy G, length, mass, number of moles, internal energy E or U generally used. Internal energy symbol is E or U. Next, diffusion. It is diffusion. Delta H, change in enthalpy. Delta U, change in internal energy. Delta Z, change in internal, that is free energy. Delta S, change in entropy. Conductance, total heat capacity. Total heat capacity. At the some examples towards this intensive, extensive properties. S and G means S is entropy, S is entropy, and G is free energy. G is free energy. So at last, completion of this chapter, so we will discuss about that one at last. After that is almost at the closing time end. Okay, intensive properties. That means those not depends on temperature. Okay, so examples, temperature, number of examples are there in pressure. Pressure means force per unit surface area. Force per unit surface area. That is why pressure is also not depends situation. Next, density. Yes, my dear boys, density. All concentration terms. All concentration terms. All concentration terms. Concentration terms means what we know. That is molarity, mole fraction, that is molality, normality, weight by weight fraction, weight by volume fraction, volume by volume fraction, parts per million, that is billion, parts per billion, pH conditions. These are the different ways of expressing concentration terms. And all these are not depends on quantity of matter. Quantity of matter. These are all. Next, refractive index. Refractive index. Like this number